Namaste. How's it going? Samadhi occurs when the Sushumna Nadi, or the central channel of the Asana anatomy, is made open. And then we do that by balancing the right and the left channels, the Pingala and the Ida Nadi. When there's two polarities, the sides, they are balanced, they're not fighting each other, then the Sushumna Nadi opens up, because it's a pathway of the Kundalini energy rising from the hips to the brain. However, it's not always the case. That's the ideal situation. Yeah. But most of the time, our nadis are not perfectly in unison. One side is more predominant than the other side. Personally, my right side is the dominant side. My left side is always open. But my right side is the active one. That sometimes, most of the times, a lot of times, I feel that my right nostril is really getting in the way of the energy rising up because I use my right side a lot. I'm a physically driven person. I'm an earth element, and that's common, for an earth element and fire element. The right side is tighter or blocked. Although, most of my samadhi happens when the nadis are perfectly balanced. But as I've mentioned, it's not always the case. So we need to accept that nature of ours. Yes, the techniques of Hatha Yoga will allow you to balance them. But it might take a really long time for us to attain that balance, and we need to find that perfect timing because, yes, it depends on the time of the day. There are specific times of the day that the nadis are open organically without us doing anything. For example, early hours of the morning or mid-afternoon. Yes, it's a cycle, really. We go through the cycle when the nadis are open, and you can take that opportunity to do your meditation. But who has the time? In this modern life we tackle, sometimes we need to find ways for us to adapt to the situation and the circumstances. And when I do my meditation, for example, my right side is always getting in the way. So what I realize is this: yes, the samadhi can happen even in one side of the hemisphere. Yes. And then this technique is what I've been practicing. And yes, it happens. I thought the first time it happened is just like random or chance. But as I grow the technique, it becomes, I'd say, a regular occurrence that even if one side of me is tight, I still attain the absorption. So this is now where your eyes become to involve. The eyes and the breath and the tongue. Yes. So when I do for example, my alternate nostril breathing, just last night, this happened to me. I was doing my alternate nostril breathing. And yes, because if you do your pranayama regularly, you will attain that state of like you're doing it, but you're not doing it anymore. It's so organic. Sometimes you will lose the technique, but you're doing it. The kabala kumbaka. Sometimes you fall into this state of consciousness to unconscious state. But you're still doing the pranayama. I was doing my nadi shodhana. I was doing it my right side. And then I tried to go past and then really irrigate that channel, which is blocked near my right side. Sometimes I would do my right side longer, and sometimes I will linger there and then assess the blockages, and then use the energy, use the bandhas to go through those deep pockets. And then, yes, while I was doing it, I lost it. And I just felt that the Kundalini energy pierced my right hemisphere. By the way, this is my right, since I'm doing a mirror image, my right hemisphere. And then, yes, I was sitting. I know I was doing my pranayama because I was holding my hand like this. And I just kept it still while observing the samadhi happens, the right hemisphere of the brain. And then the other experience happened. Like, for example, I physically detach from the energy that attaches from the physical body, and I was just observing. Yeah, I remember very vividly, yeah, that I got up from my sitting position and I went into a corner, yeah, of the room, and I was just observing myself. Yeah, but I know I was doing my pranayama, yeah, and I know that I was into this limbo, yeah, this suspension. We call that dekabala kumbhaka. Now, I was breathing, but I was breathing mentally. While I observed the samadhi happens, and I could clearly recall the right hemisphere of the brain is the only pathway there which absorbing and then processing the energy from the hips to the brain, from the hips to the brain, from the nostril to the brain, and this one is very active. Yeah, like the washing machine there inside, while I observe and then experience the same astral experience, so astral manifestations, and yeah. So the experience, although the same, but one side of the hemisphere is active, but the other side is like passive. Yeah, it's there. Like there's really nothing happening there. It's blank, it's void, but my right side is processing the energy. And then the sensation is the same, the sound, the experiences, the electricity, the moving away from the physical body of the mental energy traveling around is the same. And yeah, and then you just come back. And when you come back, how can I describe? When you come back, it's not as electrifying. Yeah, because when one side is when samadhi happens on that one side, yeah, it's very conscious, I'd say. Yeah, you know what's happening. You know you're sitting, just as in other samadhi. But after that, it's not as, I'd say, euphoric. It's not as trance-like. Yeah. Whereas when it happens when the Shimna Nadi is open, you really explore the realms outside. But if it happens in one hemisphere, it's like one side of you is awake, is alive, is connected to your physical body, but the other side is going somewhere. Yeah. I feel that when the Kundalini energy is overly flowing inside the body and she needs to drain herself out, yeah, she'll make and find her way out. And then by practicing the techniques, yeah, the eye mudra, yeah, the tongue mudra, and then there you just focus on that side of you which is tight, and then just pierce through those blockages, clogging that side of you. Then you guide her to that side too. Yeah, and it happens, and then she drains her excess energy out of the system. And after that, yeah, you come back, yeah, refresh. You have the freedom and the space again to reprocess, yeah, for the next cycle to happen again in the future. Good, thank you. Yes, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a lovely day.